Hello, my name is Elizabeth Reid, and on behalf of my co-authors, I'm happy to present our work, If You Build It, They Will Comment, Distributed Mentoring in an Online Game Modding Community. Game modding is the practice by which users create and share their own modifications or add-ons to existing digital games. Mods encompass a wide range of content, which can provide value to mod creators, the game community, and even the original developers, stimulating interest in existing games or laying the groundwork for the development of new ones. As a form of fan labor, game modding requires both creativity and technical skill. Yet while prior work has shown that collaboration and knowledge sharing in mod communities is important for mod creators, it remains less clear how the affordances of these online mod communities actually enable knowledge production. One framework that could shed light on the informal knowledge sharing practices within game modding communities is distributed mentoring. Originally developed in the context of fanfiction spaces, this theory posits that many pieces of individual feedback, when viewed in sum, serve to provide persistent artifacts that original creators can draw from to improve their work. However, distributed mentoring has had limited evaluation outside of fanfiction communities, so the extent to which it occurs even in other fan spaces is unknown. Therefore, our work investigates how distributed mentoring manifests in one online game modding community, contributing both evidence that it does occur in this new context, as well as insights into how it differs from fanfiction. We collected comments and metadata from 2,647 English-language Baldur's Gate 3 mods posted to Nexus Mods between January 1st, 2023 and December 31st, 2023. These mods represent 12 possible categories, with the most common being gameplay, and the least common being audio. They also covered 4 distinct popularity levels based on total downloads. The highest popularity level had 1,639 comments on average, and the lowest had 22. We conducted a deductive qualitative analysis on a final data set of 2,798 randomly selected comments balanced across mod category and popularity level, utilizing Evans et al.'s original codebook to directly compare the types of comments fanfiction authors and game modders receive. In particular, we looked at positive affect and depth of feedback, presence of discussion, as well as a few other key topics like fandom remarks, social connection, and update encouragement. We compared proportions of each code between game mod comments and Evans et al.'s original findings on fanfiction.net reviews using pairwise chi-square tests. While most codes were significantly different between the two contexts, only 3 had at least a small or medium effect size: shallow positive, targeted positive, and discussion about the work. Specifically, fanfiction reviews contain significantly more shallow and targeted positive feedback than Baldur's Gate 3 mod comments, while the game mod comments contain more discussion about the mod. But what does this actually mean for distributed mentoring? Despite the significant differences we observed in commenting practices, we still found evidence for all 7 key attributes of distributed mentoring, though they do manifest in distinct ways in the Baldur's Gate 3 community. While we provide more detailed descriptions and evidence for each attribute in our paper, here we focus on the 4 attributes with the clearest differences between Nexus Mods and fanfiction.net: aggregation, accretion, acceleration, and affect. Aggregation states that many small pieces of individual, independent feedback contribute to a creator's greater overall understanding of their work. In fanfiction reviews, aggregation manifests in the form of many pieces of direct feedback. Game mod comments contain significantly less direct feedback than fanfiction reviews, but instead contain significantly more examples of indirect feedback through questions or discussion of the mod with others, especially when issues with the mod are not necessarily clear. As an example, we can compare the targeted corrective comment, "Every time I have to roll dice since the patch, the game crashes," with the discussion comment, "Does anyone else's mod open, do a quick search, and then close, not sure if it's the mod or not." In isolation, even though the first comment is more direct than the second, it may not be clear whether the problem is truly due to the mod or due to external factors with the base game. However, if many users comment with similar problems, this may show the mod creator there is something they need to fix. Accretion describes how commenters interact with and build upon one another in discussions. Similarly, acceleration focuses on conflict and discussion among commenters. The Baldur's Gate 3 mod showed much higher accretion and acceleration than fanfiction reviews. 72.2% of comments contained discussion, compared to only 8.6% of fanfiction.net reviews. In part, this difference is due to the public reply feature in Nexus Mods, which is absent from fanfiction.net. Overall, we found that 49% of comments received a reply from either a mod creator or another user, which often either supported or contradicted bug reports. These replies varied in detail. For example, several +1 or same here comments can be enough to show support for an idea, though more detailed replies can provide a little more context, especially if it turns out to be a problem from an entirely different mod, as in this example. One person pointed out a common issue was actually from a different mod, with another user replying to agree. Finally, affect states that feedback from community members is primarily positive and encouraging. 70.5% of fanfiction reviews contained at least one positive remark compared to 17.4% of game mod comments. However, most game mod comments have neutral affect, with questions taking the place of direct criticism, indicating at least some reluctance to assign blame to mod creators for bugs in their work. Some commenters also directly address the amount of work mod creators put in. While they don't always contain clear positive feedback about the mod, these types of comments do show explicit support and respect for mod creators and their time. Most notably, unlike fanfiction reviews, we observed encouragement flowing both from commenters to creators and from creators back to commenters. Commenters sometimes ask for advice and guidance on their own mod projects, or acknowledge how other creators have helped to support their own modding journey, as in this example. Distributed mentoring, by nature, is closely linked to the affordances of online communities. Indeed, many of the observed differences between Nexus Mod comments and fanfiction.net reviews can be explained by differences in site affordances. Nexus Mods has more features that lead to public discussion and organized control over interactions, including public replies, comment editing, and comment searching. These features support high levels of aggregation, accretion, and acceleration, making it easier for creators to understand and follow the large number of threaded discussions that occur on the site. There are also key differences between game mods and fanfiction as creative works that may have impacted our results. Unlike fanfiction stories, mods must be downloaded and run locally, often in combination with several other mods. This leads to ambiguity around technical problems and a need to bridge feedback across multiple mods, with discussions often indirectly pointing out problems or requesting help from the community more broadly. Again, this has a particular impact on accretion and acceleration, especially in the sense that support flows both from commenters to creators and from creators back to commenters within the same comment sections. In conclusion, the way that distributed mentoring manifests in the Baldur's Gate 3 Nexus Mods community reflects the website's affordances as well as the nature of game mods themselves. Most notably, structured public interactions and replies, the ambiguity surrounding technical issues, and the back-and-forth nature of mod support leads to more extensive discussions rather than individual pieces of direct positive feedback, with a particularly strong impact on aggregation, accretion, acceleration, and affect. Thank you.